glass making process is very interesting and unique. Before beginning research for this speech, I knew very little about it, but it has always been something that intrigued me. Glass making has been around for centuries and has helped to shape the world we live in today. While most of the glass products we use on a day-to-day basis are made in factories, there are still many people who know the beautiful art of glass blowing. Today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about this and the way it is done. According to the book titled, How Does Sand Become Glass?, published by Raintree Perspectives, most glass is about 70% sand. This sand that I have here would not be ideal for making glass. However, almost any sand can be turned into glass. The most commonly used is silica sand, as it produces a much more pure and clear form of glass. Pure sand does not turn into glass until it reaches almost 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. However, when other ingredients such as soda ash, cullet, which is recycled glass, and limestone are added to the sand, it changes the chemical makeup and lowers the melting temperature to around 2,700 degrees Fahrenheit, saving an amazing amount of both time and energy. All these ingredients are ground into a very fine powder before they are put into the furnace to be melted into a liquid form. According to Glass Facts, How Glass is Made, these furnaces are most often called continuous tanks, as they continually keep the glass heated and in a liquid form. When the ingredients are first being melted, it can take up to 24 hours to turn into molten glass, depending on the temperature the furnace is set to. The molten glass is almost 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit when it is done. However, it must then be allowed to cool several hundred degrees before it can be worked with and products can begin to be made. I'm sure some of you are wondering about glass made by lightning. This is nature's own special way of forming glass. It happens when one of the hundreds of thousands of lightning bolts that strike Earth's surface daily hits sand and stays in contact with it for at least a second. This lightning is so hot, approximately 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit, that it is able to fully melt the pure sand, creating a beautiful tube of glass called a frigolite that marks the path of the lightning strike. The glass that is used in factories to make most of our everyday product is made of the same ingredients that make up the glass blowers use. Glass.drex.com's article titled How Glass is Made gives a lot of very good and detailed information on the glass making and blowing processes. The melted glass is kept in a furnace or continuous tank until ready to be used. And then a long hollow pipe, called a blowpipe, is stuck in the furnace and is twisted to gather on the desired amount of molten glass. The glob of glass on the end of this pipe is then rolled on a well-oiled slab. A small amount of air is blown into the blowpipe and trapped inside. The pipe is then turned, spun, and rolled around, forcing the air down into the glass and creating a pear-like shape. The glass then continues to be formed by alternating pipe blowing, rolling it on the slab, and even using small tools. These tools are mostly wooden and have been kept in water to keep them in a good condition to work with the hot glass. While this whole shaping process is taking place, the glass that is being worked with must continually be put back in the furnace to reheat. If the glass cools too much, it will not be workable. If it cools too fast, it will crack and be ruined. Depending on what is being made out of the glass, special molds may be used to shape it. These molds range quite a bit in size and shape. A glass blower will place the already partly blown and reheated glass into the mold and proceed to blow until the glass reaches the desired size and shape. After the glass's main shape has been formed, it is time to make the rim or neck of the glass product. Lynn Dinning is a glass artist who demonstrates this very well in her glass blowing YouTube video titled Glass Blowing, Sand plus Heat equals Glass. The glass must be transferred from the iron blowpipe onto another iron pipe. The pipe is first placed in the furnace, holding the melted glass, and is twisted to gather a small amount of glass on the end. This small glob of glass is on the end of the rod is then pressed gently against the already shaped or blown glass on the blowpipe. The neck of the blowpiece is then tapped with a metal rod to break it off the blowpipe. After this difficult process is complete, the glass is once again reheated and the rim or neck of the glass piece can be formed. After the glass has been shaped or blown to the desired size and design and the rim or neck of it has been completed, the piece is then ready to be placed into the annealing oven, where it will be cooled very slowly and at very controlled temperatures, helping to relieve any stress in the glass and keeping it from cracking. As you can see, glass making is a very unique and incredible process. Today I have only given you the very basic information. There are so many different ways to make glass, both in a factory or by hand, that there is no way for me to even begin to cover all the amazing information concerning this subject. But I hope that I have helped you to understand the basic process of how glass is made, and at least one of the many ways it can be formed. The thought that with enough heat, even the coarsest and roughest of sand can be turned into something as beautiful as glass still amazes me. And while glass blowing is indeed a very beautiful process, it is also a very tedious one. The glass must be kept warm enough to be formed and blown, but not crack, but still remain firm enough to hold a shape. So it is very understandable that most of our products today are made in mass production in a factory. I have greatly enjoyed learning more about glass and the way it is formed and made, and I hope that today I have given you at least a taste of this process.